Hey y'all, my name is MK and welcome to my kitchen. Who am I? I am a lifelong baker. I went to culinary school in Manhattan and got my degree in pastry arts. I'm also a writer and a person who sometimes talks and gives advice on the internet. So I'm going to take all of the tips and tricks that I learned both in culinary school and on the job, and a couple of things that I kind of picked up on my own over the years, and pass them on to you out there. Because as far as I'm concerned, everyone should know how to cook. So when it comes to places to start, I could not think of anything more fitting than chocolate chip cookies. I mean, everyone loves chocolate chip cookies. Unless you don't like dessert, or cookies, or chocolate. Chocolate chip cookies are simple, and the recipe could not be more straightforward. Easy, right? Right? But then you take a step back and you think about all the different kinds of chocolate chip cookies. Soft and chewy, thin and crispy, chewy and crispy, bite-sized, with milk, 3 at a time, cookies the size of your head, straight out of the friggin' bowl. Baking is a science. But that doesn't mean that you can't wiggle around a little inside of those lines. So how do you get the type of chocolate chip cookie that you want without turning our cookies into colossal culinary catastrophe? Some people are very particular about the texture of their chocolate chip cookie. Do you like cookies that are chewy or crunchy? Ew. Chewy, I'm not an animal. So what is it that makes a cookie chewy? Moisture. Moist. The higher the moisture content of your cookie dough, the chewier your finished product is gonna be. I was gonna make a Chewbacca noise because chewy, but I can't. I'm fine. So how do we up our moisture content? This is terrible. One thing we can do, brown sugar. Now most recipes already call for part white sugar and part brown sugar, but if we reduce the amount of white sugar and increase the amount of brown sugar, that ups the moisture content of our dough, because brown sugar is made using molasses. Isn't he so cute? That's why it's brown. There's significantly more moisture in brown sugar than there is in regular white refined sugar. So the more brown sugar you put into your recipe, the more moisture you're going to have in your dough. Another thing we can do is to add more flour. Flour makes your dough stiffer. The stiffer your dough is, the slower it's going to spread in the oven, which means that there's less surface area for evaporation to take place, which means more of the moisture stays inside your dough as it bakes, which means chillier cookies. Science. You also want to bake at a higher temperature for less time. The higher temperature is going to freeze up the shape of your cookie, and then baking it for less time means you're not going to dry out all of the remaining moisture. Chewy. Did you order original recipe or extra crispy? So, since chewy cookies need more moisture, by the transitive property, to make crunchy cookies, you need less moisture. So obviously we can start with the opposites of the things that we did to make our cookies chewy. We can scale back on the brown sugar, and we can reduce the amount of flour that we put into the dough. But wait, there's more. Fat melts. So this means the more fat that you introduce into your recipe proportionally to the other ingredients, the meltier your dough is going to be in the oven, and it's going to spread faster. Creamed butter method. It's not as complicated as it sounds. The reason this step is important, when you're mixing them together, the sugar is actually gouging into the butter, and those pockets have now trapped air. And when that dough goes into the oven, the air that's trapped in there is going to heat and it's going to expand. This is called mechanical leavening. Science! So great, we've got our mechanical leavening covered. Then we have chemical leavening. Science! Baking soda is a chemical compound. If you mix it with an acidic component, cream of tartar, buttermilk, lemon juice, yogurt, cocoa, vinegar, it creates a chemical reaction which produces carbon dioxide. So what's baking powder? Baking powder is baking soda. The difference is that baking powder has an acidic component added with it. Eggs and butter do not naturally want to mix. They just don't. It's a fat and a liquid. They're just not friends. So to mix these two things that do not want to be mixed, you just gotta convince them to do the emulsification tango. So the last thing that we need to talk about is salt. It ain't just for hunting demons, or ghosts, or slugs. Salt is a flavor enhancer. Don't skip the salt. So those are the things that you need to know to make your chocolate chip cookies. It's easy. All you need to do is cream your butter and sugar, emulsify those eggs, add in your dry ingredients, mix till it's just combined. Add those chocolate chips, grease your pans, scoop that dough, bake, and enjoy. All you need is the right ingredients and a little know-how, and you are just a few minutes away from a delicious, not so nutritious sweet treat. Bye! The motion detector just went on outside. Are there any murderers coming to kill me? No? Okay. I think I'm okay. Tell my cats that I love them.